edition of IC Sports Roundup. I'm sports reporter Ryan Buchan with the Iroquois County Times-Republic. Today I'm going to discuss all four Iroquois County football teams and their matchups this week. All four teams in the county are currently undefeated at 2-0. Three of those teams also play in the Sangamon Valley Conference, and every single team in that conference is undefeated. It is the only conference in the entire state that is undefeated. We will first start discussing some of our Iroquois County teams that are in the Sangamon Valley Conference. First off is Central, who's playing a non-conference game against Paris. Paris is currently 1-1. Paris is not an unfamiliar opponent for Central, as they played them last year and won 34-0, and then played them in 2010 where they won 54-7. Let's listen to Brian Spooner and see what he has to say about his game with Paris.
Well, I think the thing that is most important for us is that we stay focused, and I think our kids saw the Watseka Paris score, and I think the tendency would be is that, all right, well, if they can beat them that bad, so can we, and maybe we don't prepare as hard this week, or don't prepare or play as hard on Friday night. And, if we go in with that mindset, we're going to be in big trouble, because from what I've seen on film, Paris is a lot faster than they have been the last couple of years, and they can run it and throw it, and I think those are things that, we really got to take into consideration. We can't just walk into this game with, the mindset that we're just going to walk out there and beat them. I just don't think that'll happen.
Another team that is still on the road in the county is Iroquois West. They travel to PBL for an SVC game. Both teams are currently 2-0, and both teams have kind of struggled in recent history. Iroquois West hasn't gone 2-0 since 2003, while PBL, this is their best start since 2002. So both teams are looking to make a statement, and this should be an interesting one. Let's listen in to what head coach David Harris had to say during the Raiders practice.
It's good to be 2-0. We talk to our kids, about setting your own legacy. I mean, our history has not been very well over the last 5-6 years, so it's time to put the past in the past. What are you going to be remembered for, not what have we done year after year. PBL is a really good football team. They're 2-0. They've run the ball really well. They've got two good running backs in the Strauss and fullback, and a nice receiver, a nice quarterback. Their defense is solid. They play 52. It's going to be a tough game for us, but we can't worry about them. We got to still take care of us. As long as we take care of us, we'll be okay.
PBL has had a couple of impressive wins so far this season, beating two teams who were in the playoffs last year. They beat Effingham 30-22 and El Paso Gridley 28-14. Iroquois West is coming off a 38-0 victory against Blue Ridge, but Blue Ridge hasn't been that good in recent years. Watseka is a team that was good last year, and they face St. Thomas More. Last season, the Warriors were 2-0 going into that game and were able to pull out a victory. The Warriors have the same record again as they've traveled to Champaign. This is the third game of a 3-game road trip for the Warriors to start the season. I caught up with head coach Steve Lucas after last week's game against Paris, and this is what he had to say about St. Thomas More.
Well, remember last year we jumped on St. Thomas More at half. It was 24-0. So we kind of surprised them. We're not going to surprise them this year. They're going to be ready for us. We got to go to their house, so another long road trip for us, 3 right out of the gate. But it's a conference game. We will be ready. And for some reason, our kids play better against better teams. I can't tell you why. They're fired up, and they just come out. So I expect us to go down there and compete. We're healthy. Nobody got hurt. And it should be really good.
The Warriors come into this game after a 49-21 victory last week at Paris. St. Thomas More also had an impressive victory, defeating South Fork 47-0. That is it for our Sangamon Valley Conference, but not it for the show. Next we will talk about the Milford Bearcats football team, who also come into this game at 2-0. Milford started the season last year at 2-0, and then went and faced Bismarck-Henning, where everything changed. They lost that game 40-8. Well, the Bearcats are again 2-0, and again they will face Bismarck-Henning. This time, the game is in Bismarck. This should be an interesting matchup as both teams have had a lot of success so far this season. Milford and Bismarck-Henning have scored at least 40 points in each of their 2 games, while they've given up a combined 15 points. Head coach Nate Albaugh with the Bearcats said he sees this game as kind of a measuring stick to see really how good his team is. Let's listen to what he had to say the other night after practice.
This is a good game for us to measure ourselves off of. It's not a must-win for us, but it's just it's a great opportunity for us to play the best and see where we stand amongst that. And of course, we talk about nothing but winning the game. So we're going to go out and we're going to try to win it.
Most teams in the area have spent a lot of time on the road earlier this season. Milford, however, has got to enjoy a lot of time at home playing both games in Milford. This will be their first road game this season. That's it for this week's edition of the IC Sports Roundup. Thank you for listening, and check out Monday's edition for stories and pictures of our Iroquois County games. I'm Ryan Buchan with the Iroquois County Times-Republic.